Yo, what's up, Buddy Bags? I wanted to review a film today that I checked out 2 nights ago called Lung, put out by Unearthed Films and Phil Stevens, who actually had done Flowers, which was one of the best Unearthed films It actually was the best Unearthed film I'd ever seen. I love that film with a passion. Really, was looking forward to this because there was just something about that film, which I have a review on my channel for it, that just it was a really intense movie, and it didn't affect me like it affected me the same way like Martyrs affected me. I just really love that film. So I was pretty hyped to check this out because this is kind of like a prequel to Flowers. So I wasn't really sure what to expect actually, because I know Phil Stevens, the director, is like the main character in this, and it starts out with him wandering. He's wearing scrubs, like it doesn't really go into the backstory, but he's wearing like a hospital bracelet, so it almost seems like he escaped from a mental institution or something. That's what I gathered from it. And he's just like kind of roaming the streets, just all these visions are popping into his head of just like dead bodies and stuff and all this gore, and he's cutting up meat, and it's just like a really weird. And he basically, that's the whole movie. It's him kind of wandering around and all these visions popping in. He's seeing all this stuff, and you're there wondering if this is real, if it's not real. And it flashes to him older, who I don't remember the guy's name. Brian Lohr Sr., I think, is who it is. But he plays the serial killer older, who Phil Stevens' character called the Exile. And if you've seen Flowers, you'll know exactly who he is. He's badass, but there's really no dialogue at all. It's all visual. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes, so it does go by pretty quick. It's all shot in black and white. It adds kind of to the vibe of it. It may sound a little boring, but it's really not. There's like the last part, him in he's in like a motel room, and some really cool imagery in there. It's just really bizarre stuff. Like his head will just start bleeding out of nowhere, gushing out blood, and he's puking up blood all in this bathroom. And there's a scene where he like walks by this dumpster, and he looks in, and in a box there's just this like pile of like flesh or whatever with like a face and stuff, kind of like breathing at him and like winking at him. It's really bizarre, this box of flesh. And he opens his fridge at one point in the movie, and there's like all these like weird fleshy, like, they're not even creatures. I don't even know what to call them. They're just like little tiny piles of flesh with like vaginas and weird stuff, eyes and everything all over it. And it's just like really bizarre. There's like a really grotesque scene when it comes to that fridge scene. And, I just really dug the performances of it. I thought Flowers was a really original take on the serial killer subgenre. I had never seen a serial killer movie done in the way Flowers was done, and it still holds true to this too. This one even goes different than Flowers. Like, it's really cool how things connect, how it flashes from, Phil Stevens is the young serial killer, then goes to the serial killer as he's older, and it kind of makes you wonder what all happened between the time there, because, there's some really brutal stuff in it. Like, there's a scene in particular where young Phil Stevens is walking through this like bridge in this forest, and there's this kid just like talking on a cell phone, and he goes up with a baseball bat, just beats him to death, and then walks away. So it's a really intense movie. It's definitely if you're a fan of gorehounds or extreme cinema, definitely check it out. I mean, it's not as good to me as Flowers. I still give Flowers the slight edge above this, but this is definitely a really worthy companion piece to Flowers, and it's got me even more excited for Flowers 2, which I know just got funded and is going to be getting made soon, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable movie. Really dug it. If you're a fan of art house cinema, or just like I said, extreme cinema in general, it's definitely worth picking up. But definitely watch Flowers first so you can get the whole gist. And because if you watch this before Flowers, you're not really gonna get as much enjoyment, I don't think, as if you would have watched Flowers beforehand. But this is like a 2-disc collector's edition. It comes with, and there's a 2 discs, Lung 1 and Lung 2, but you actually want to watch Lung 2 first. Lung 1 is just the extra footage from Lung 2 that he made into like a whole separate feature. So if you really like Lung 2, then check out Lung 1, which I did. It was pretty cool, but I do like Lung 2 better. And what else is cool, this has a commentary for both features. I did listen to the commentary for Lung 2, and really enjoyable commentary. He gives you a whole lot of info. Like, he definitely tells you what all the blood was made out of, tells you Marcus Cook did all the effects and how they went back and forth with that, talks about the hotel they stayed in, and really informative commentary. One of the best I'd heard, actually, from an independent film. Isolated sound effects, making of Lung 2, artwork featurette, bunch of unearthed trailers, editor's commentary, and then the Lung 1 has the director's commentary on that, editor's commentary, and 2 short films done by Phil Stevens. So yeah, this is definitely a really good unearthed film. Got me more excited for Flowers 2, but like I said, Flowers 1 is still the best, but yeah, really glad to have that in the collection. But anyways, guys, see you next week. Peace.